India. So I'll start with the judicial tradition or judicial trend, where from we have started this. Now, as you all know, that right to information is not implicitly or expressly written in the Constitution of India as a fundamental right. This is very clear to all of you. This we have already discussed while discussing the Constitution and fundamental rights, that there is no right to information in the Constitution of India. This is one thing. But how come this right to information has found the constitutional roots? This is important. And we find that Article 19 of the Constitution, which is consisting of the various freedoms, and the very first freedom that speaks of the freedom of speech and expression. That speech and expression is basically extended and expanded by the judicial interpretation by the judiciary, by the Supreme Court in a number of cases, and to the extent that now we have housed, or the judiciary has housed, this fundamental right 19(1)(a) to expand and to include right to information within its system. Now, the point is that what are those cases through which the judiciary has interpreted right to information under 19(1)(a)? So first of all, we must know as to what is right under Article 19(1)(a). This is simply freedom of speech and expression. Why do we need speech and expression right as a fundamental freedom? Why we have put this in the part 3rd of the Constitution? Simply because this is the basic liberty, or this is the basic freedom of every individual. A person who is born must be given this opportunity, this freedom, this liberty to hear the other person. And only then, when once we know the things, once we have the information about the things, only then we can speak something, we can express ourselves. Without knowing the thing, without having the information about the thing, we cannot speak, we cannot express ourselves. So this is very first requirement of exercising the first freedom, that is 19(1)(a), freedom of speech and expression, so that there must be a correlative, and that is to have the information, to have the right to know. This is the basic idea when it was decided by the Supreme Court in a number of cases. But before going into the details of that, first of all, we must know as to what are those cases in which the Supreme Court has considered this right to information as a part of freedom of speech and expression. First of all, we should go back to 1950s case, that is of Romesh Thapar versus State of Madras. Romesh Thapar versus State of Madras, that was the first case wherein we can find the roots that the Supreme Court has started saying that freedom of information or right to know is a part of freedom of speech and expression. Speech, you simply know that what we speak, that comes under the speech. However, the expression is a wider term. Expression, that means you can express yourself through various ways, by painting, by art, by music, by various other methods through which you can express. Speech, you can speak. So this speech and expression collectively make a fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution. So in Romesh Thapar was a case wherein for the first time the Supreme Court said that this freedom of speech and expression is expanded so as to include the right to know. Right to know what? Right to know the other things. Because this is the case where is the Maintenance of Public Order Act of 1949 that was imposing a ban. Ban on what? Ban on the circulation of the petitioner's journal. Romesh Thapar, publishing one of the journal, and he was the petitioner in this case, and in that case that was banned under the Maintenance of Public Order. So the court said that if the press, if the petitioner is not allowed, then the other persons may not know as to what is going on, and that's why this has been extended for the publication and the circulation. That is, press right was in we can say expressed for the first time by the Supreme Court in this case. And why that press right? If the press has been included in freedom of speech and expression, that simply means that that newspaper will be circulated in the society, in the public, and that public, after reading or after going through the newspaper, will be informed as to what is going on. So once you are banning the publication, once you are banning the circulation, then how the public will be understanding as to what is happening in the society? So this was considered as an extension of freedom of speech and expression. Then another case was of the Hamdard Dawakhana versus Union of India, and again this was case directly related regarding the advertisements, and the Supreme Court held that this is an extension of Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution of India. Then if we are directly coming to the freedom of speech and expression to relate it with the information or right to know, then we have to go back to the history of India, wherein we all know that we were the slaves and we were in the slavery for more than 2 centuries almost. And we were having the British law, that was Official Secrets Act 1923, as well as we were also having the Indian Evidence Act of 1872. Now, Indian Evidence Act of 1872 under section 123 and 162, that provides for the production of the documents or the disclosure of the public documents on the one hand, and on the second hand, it also provides that if it is related to the matter of state, then those documents will not be disclosed in the public. So there were two, we can say, provisions in the Indian Evidence Act, and these two provisions were come before the Supreme Court in 1961, that is State of Punjab versus Sodhi Sukhdev Singh. State of Punjab versus Sodhi Sukhdev Singh case. Now in this case, the simple matter that was before the judiciary was whether section 123 of the Evidence Act, which says about the non-production of the documents before the court, before the public, and on the other hand, this should not be produced if it is a matter related to the matter of the state affairs, then whether the freedom of speech and expression can be extended up to know as to whether this right to information or right to know is a fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution or not. Though this, in this case, the court was of the opinion that 123 and 162 does not allow the authority, that is the government or the state, because this is a privileged document, to withhold in this public. And that's why a dissenting judgment that was very important on the point, that is of Justice Subba Rao, that he was of the opinion that though it's a public interest document, though it's a document which is related to the matter of affairs of the state affairs, but at the same time, if it is violating the right of the common man, if it is violating the right, then that has to be inspected by the judiciary, whether really the protection of that document is violating the public interest or not. So public interest should be at a larger scale. So this was the decision of the Supreme Court in this 1961 judgment. Then again, another case was decided by the Supreme Court, that was Amarchand Patel versus Union of India. It was of 1973, which was also, we can say, to some extent related that right to of the people to read the newspaper is a fundamental right under 19(1)(a). And when this freedom of speech and expression through reading the newspaper is to be banned, then naturally they may not receive the information, and that information must be received. That is a part, or that is an extension of 19(1)(a). And Chief Justice Ray, A.N. Ray was the judge in that case. So Amarchand Patel is also one of the important case on that point. And then the history started from UP versus Raj Narayan. Now this is important, where for the first time we can say directly the Supreme Court has come out that freedom of speech and expression also includes the freedom to know or right to know. Right to know from whom? Right to know from the government, what the government is doing. So this was UP versus Rajnarayan 1975 Supreme Court case. And in this case, Justice Matthew was there. And the facts you may be aware, as we have already discussed these facts while discussing the constitution. But for a simple knowing that as to what were the facts, this was a case related to the production of the blue book in the parliament. The blue book that is related to the tour and travel programs of the VVIPs, and that was the blue book, which was considered to be a privileged document. Now, in that case, UP versus Rajnarayan, the election of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, was challenged, and for that purpose, the blue book was sought to be produced in the court of law, and the government simply hold that this is a privileged document and this cannot be produced in the court of law. And the plea which was taken, that was of section 123 as well as 162 of the Indian Evidence Act. But here the Supreme Court through Justice Matthew was of the opinion that if any public act is being done by the public authority using the public system, then those things must be made public. That means whatever the government is doing, if it is doing in the name of the public, those public authorities should explain the things or should reveal everything to the person concerned, because they are the masters, they are the sovereign. So right to know is one of the fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a), freedom of speech and expression. Simply that the money is of the public, the representatives, they are from the elected by the public, so what they are doing, that must be made known to the public. This was the idea, and Justice Matthew was of the opinion that this should be disclosed in the public, that whatever the public authorities are doing in the name of the public work, that should be made public. And if it is not to be made public, then it will be simply because some of the parties policies, or this political relationship, or it may be some bureaucratic system that they are not disclosing the things. So these things must be disclosed, because this is an extension of 19(1)(a). The public must know what the government is doing. So secrecy is only one of the exception, while information or right to know is the rule. This was the judgment of the Supreme Court in UP versus Rajnarayan in 1975, wherein Justice Matthew took this bold decision. Then after that, another case which was decided by the Supreme Court, that was SP Gupta versus Union of India. Now this SP Gupta Union of India case, this is also known as the judges transfer case. Initially judges transfer case, now because thereafter so many other cases were also decided by the Supreme Court. So these are known as the judges transfer case number 1. This was the case in which the documents which were related to the appointment, extension and transfer of some of the judges of the Delhi High Court as well as the Patna High Court were in issue. So the documents which were sought to be produced in the court of law, that documents were relating to the consultation which was made during the meeting of the Chief Justice of India, Chief Justice of the High Courts and the Law Minister. And because those documents on the basis of which this was recommended that some of the judges may not get extension or the transfer related issues, so those were to be made public. The government took the plea under 123 Evidence Act that these are and 162 of the Indian Evidence Act, that these are the documents which are privileged documents. These cannot be produced in the court of law. Now here Justice Bhagwati, this was a case which was decided by the 7 judges constitution bench of the Supreme Court, and Chief Justice Bhagwati, he has given this judgment in this case that the documents which are in the possession of the government, though that document can be said to be privileged document, but the basis on which that final recommendation has been made, that cannot be said to be a privileged document, and therefore those are to be produced in the court of law. Now, Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer was also the judge of this case, and after this judgment, V.R. Krishna Iyer was of the opinion that this secrecy in the democratic nation is one of the greatest danger. The democracy cannot be vibrant when there would be secrecy. So this secrecy has to go. And that's why he has written an open letter to the then Prime Minister VP Singh in 1989, 26th December 1929, which was published in his book Freedom of Information, which was published in 1990, wherein he has written a letter to VP Singh. He was the Prime Minister at that time. Relating to what? Relating to that, there were two issues mainly. One, that the government must come up with the Freedom of Information Act. The secrecy should go and freedom must come. So first of all, he has written that in a democracy, a largest democracy, Freedom of Information Act must be enacted. This is one. And the second point was that he has written that any law which is related to the secrecy, any law which violates the freedom, any law which makes an, we can say, hurdle or obstacle on the right to information, that all should be repealed. Simply has given the name of the Operation Scavenge. Scavenge, you know that the scavengers who are put in the safai work, etc. So he said that this should be known as the Operation Scavenge, and all the laws which are related to the secrecy, which are related to Official Secret Act, like these acts, so these are to be repealed once and for all, so that India can have a good democracy, and democracy can be seen by the public, by the citizens of this country. And that's why this letter, when it was written to VP Singh in 1989, December 26th, after that, we find that nothing was done by the parliament, no law has been passed. And then on the other hand, another movement was going on in Rajasthan, that is MKSS, Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan. And through that, we can say Sangathan, they have started movement and dharnas regarding the right to information in Rajasthan. There was one place, that is Dev Dungri, and they started it in 1987, and we can say there are three active members. One was the former IAS officer, that is Aruna Roy. Another one, am I audible to all of you?